you. Do you ever think about all the different kinds of service we experience over a lifetime? For instance, parents, partners, hospitality workers, emergency service workers. Let's take a look at firefighter Adam.
The Halls Gap fires were over Christmas time. Halls Gap was completely cut off and we were the only 5 trucks in the whole town, and the fire came through. So we got stuck in between. The fire went through us pretty much. Our training kicked in. Training is a very big part of the CFA. I'm a volunteer firefighter from the CFA in Caroline Springs. I've been doing it for 12 years. It takes about 3 years to become a firefighter on a volunteer status. So they train and they do competencies pretty much. And over that time you become a qualified firefighter. We're an urban brigade and we train once a week because we do over 900 fire calls. We're very busy. We wouldn't be put in a dangerous situation if we had to be. With CFA, they've got support groups. So if we have a death, we go to deaths or injuries or things like that, we have their peer support come out to us and talk to us if we have any issues. Also talk to my wife about it, but yeah, we don't get those situations where we need to worry about it too much. It can be busy, but it's very rewarding at the same time.
It's a pretty important job, probably the most important to do. It probably requires constant standing on your feet, always running around, chasing things up. It would help if this job came with like a handbook or something. You're like a chef in your own household. You have to wait for everyone else to eat before you can tuck into yours. There's sleepless nights, tantrums, expensive stuff to buy. You just need to be on top of everything all the time. And there isn't any days off. 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, it's non-stop. But the feeling you get is indescribable, and it's all out of love. It's a mother's service.
Doesn't that want to make you give your mum a hug? Let's see what Nurse Kelly does.
Yeah, there's definitely been a few situations which make the job a bit harder. One is obviously when the worst outcome that no one wants is when a baby can pass away. Obviously looking after them can impact on us as well, but we have to remind ourselves why we're in that position. It's to help with families get through situations like that. So I've been in my current position as a midwife for 13 years at Western Health. At the moment I'm a clinical midwife specialist there. I was a nurse originally, and a girlfriend who I did nursing with asked me if I wanted to come back and do midwifery with her, and I thought about it and thought that sounds like a good career choice and ended up going back to uni with her. Every time you go into a shift you always think about what can happen. Women having babies is generally low risk, however you've always got to be on alert that if things aren't going right you need to be able to pick up those signs. As nurses and midwives, you've got so many branches that you can decide if you want to go in different directions. There's so many different wards you can work on. There's education positions and management positions. There's too much opportunity that if you did want to change from what you're currently doing, there's always a chance to move either sideways or different ways in the position. At work, if we do have a situation or a bad outcome, there is debriefing offered and counselling that can be available. But generally midwives and nurses vent to one another. As nurses and midwives, we do train to work within our own scope of practice. So if there's a situation where we don't think it's our position, we could refer to another health professional. Yeah, sometimes in birthing or in different wards, if you have a couple of shifts in a row that have been a bit harder, you can say to management that you'd prefer to work in a different ward the next shift, and usually they're pretty accommodating. So I think have the ability to move around into different wards. There's a postnatal ward, we do clinics and we do home visits as well. So I think having the choice to go to those different wards really helps.
My background's hotel management and hospitality, so the definitions that we actually teach is service equals your attitude and your commitment. So if we look at those two words, that's where we see it. We also expand on that and we put passion in there, and that's energy and your intent on dealing with the customer. Then we keep building on that, and you've got to have a willingness to serve others. And in the area of hospitality or in hotels, we also put grooming as something that is all part of the service component. If we're using hotels as an example, 4 and 5 star hotels have to set themselves apart from 3 star and 2 star, for example. So it was a service offered when people started travelling over 100 years ago, and they used to take lots of luggage with them. So the women had the big dresses and things like that, and they had a lot of luggage, and it took forever for them to take their own bags to the rooms. So they thought, why can't we charge a little more and have someone being a concierge or a porter, a bellhop in America, to actually carry the bags on their behalf? It makes the customer feel special. Because they're getting something a little better. It gives them status in society, which is what they wanted at the time and what we strive to do now. And people are willing to pay for it.
Tired of tedious household chores? The back-breaking labour of doing stuff? Cleaning things around the house like a normal person? Aren't you better than normal? Of course you are! It's time to take back those precious minutes of your day. Introducing Servant Wow 3.0. Servant Wow does all the gross things that you don't like doing. Scrubbing, folding, sweeping, etc. Before having a servant, I had no time for anything. Couldn't spend time with my family or friends, and all I was doing was cleaning. But now, with a servant, he does everything. Gets into the hard-to-reach places, cooks my dinner, and I was even surprised he knew how to do the recycling. It's great. Call now to take advantage of our exclusive 2-for-1 deal. That's right, 2 Servant Wow 3.0s for the price of 1. The Servant Wow 3.0 could be yours for just 4 easy payments of $99.99. Plus, for today only, we're offering a free set of steak knives with every order. Call now!
Just confirming those steak knives are in fact free. Lastly, let's take a look at Officer Fiona and what she does, and how relationships are also a part of service. Yeah, so it's 4793.
In my role as a senior sergeant, it's pretty busy. I work at one of the busiest stations in the state. It's not uncommon to sit there and do a 12 to 14 hour day, and 90% of my job is around member welfare. So over the 17 years I've been involved in many critical incidents, and I've attended a lot of jobs, but the ones specifically that make me really think about what I do is anything that involves children. They're particularly hard to deal with, the aftermath support for the family, and we obviously have to go into the family houses at a time where we're the last people that they want to see. It really does hit home as to why we do what we do, but it's something that always resonates with me as to the importance of our role. Whilst I was at school, I wanted to be a forensic officer, so I went and did chemistry and got a science degree, and I fell into a job and I worked as a chemist, but realised it wasn't for me and that I wanted to pursue crime and forensic avenue, so I decided to join the police force and never look back. Risks are in everything that we do, so it's always honed in and reiterated every shift, whether that be intercepting a vehicle, even drive-by shootings or getting things thrown at us. When it's constant and I'm watching people be exposed to issues that are causing them mental health stresses, it's my responsibility to make sure that I get them back on track. They are real mental stresses that they develop, and it's a process. It's years and years of trying to get back to thinking clearly and being healthy, and I'll always try and support the member regardless of what the outcome is.
Chicken. That's amazing.